Bermuda Broadcasting streams the news live on Facebook. Go to Facebook and look up ZBM News 9 and press the like button. You'll get notifications just before the news starts each night. And all of our newscasts are stored there so you can watch them 24/7 at your convenience. Bermuda Broadcasting wants to make it easy for you to stay up to date with your local news. So please sign up to watch us on Facebook Live 24/7 for up-to-date news from Bermuda Broadcasting.
Live from Bermuda Broadcasting, this is ZBM TV9 News.
Good evening, everyone. It's Monday, November 27th, 2017. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us tonight. Pastor Leroy Bean, the government's gang violence reduction coordinator, says progress is being made to stamp out the island's continued gang culture among the youth. The pastor and the minister for the national security, Wayne Keynes, gave us an update on their efforts nearly 2 months after Pastor Bean was appointed. Mike Sharp has our story.
The Minister of National Security, Wayne Keynes, said a plan is now in place in schools to help eliminate gang violence. It is no quick fix, he said, but more parental input was needed. Pastor Bean, who has been on the new post for 2 months, spoke to ZBM News about his initiatives.
One of the initiatives that's actually happening in school is basically like an empowerment program. And what we're finding is that education is definitely the key vehicle in which we're going to start to break the cycle, especially with the younger generation. We're finding that parental input is very important if we're going to start to break the cycle. Most of our kids, I find, that have been exposed to things like video games, social media, and it has both short-term and long-term effects. So we're trying to, go back to the actual root, which many of our problems derive from, which is the homes. Training parents. We're not there to blame, but we're there to be a support system for those that need the help. In the community, as far as what's happening now, we are dealing with a few aspects. One is dealing with the moms group, which comes under national security. We also just implemented a fathers group. These are for people that have lost loved ones through this activity, this violent activity. And so we're trying to create a support group system and also at the same time educate our community to let them know that each one of us play a part, whether it be in our homes, whether it be in our communities, whether it be in our various institutions that we go, we all play a major part in stamping out this problem.
Minister Keynes said the key is to look at education, and that in the new year they will be doing a program called 2022.
The next part of it that we're looking at is to stop the violence, to put methods and opportunities in place that people that are involved in gang-related activity, to give them other opportunities. We're looking at just in the new year doing a program called 2022, and 2022 is about finding opportunities and jobs for young people in our market. What does that mean? That means going out to our community and asking key stakeholders and employers to hire some people in our community that might have a criminal conviction, that might not have their GED. And what we want to do through workforce development and other elements in the Ministry of Education and court services, we want to give the young people the opportunity to get an education, to be trained up, and ultimately, when they finish this training program, to have a place that they can be employed. We believe giving someone solid employment limits the opportunity for them to get an antisocial behavior. But we're not going to take or rest on our laurels at all. We believe that this is a work in progress, and we are committed to making change in this sphere in Bermuda.
And I'm Mike Sharp with Bermuda Broadcasting News.
In other news, mothers learning to live without their loved ones lost to violence want to share how they've overcome grief, or at least have begun to heal from past trauma. Jasmine Patterson tells us Moms on a Mission, a new support group, invites the community to its first event.
For these mothers, their worst nightmare came true. Dia, Iris, and Nicole Fox buried their sons, who were murdered in cold blood.
There's a shame and there's a guilt that naturally comes when as a parent, you're burying a child, which should never happen. I expected my son to bury me. And so, it's who do you talk to? Because some of the things you're going through, people don't understand.
Miss Iris' son, Stephen, was killed in a knife attack in 2013. Losing a child, she says, let alone in a violent way, is traumatic.
I went to a deep, dark place, and it took years to be able to have not peace around it, but to be able to manage with this new normal.
As you can hear, there is hope.
It's a Bermuda problem. So anyone that is hurting from this, you are not alone. You have my co-chair, me, and we have a lot of mothers that have been exactly where you're at. And we just want to encourage you. You don't have to go through this alone.
Mothers on a Mission aims to provide emotional support for individuals at any stage of grief with the help of trained counselors.
In the group, you have people at different stages of their grief. And so we can share. What people need to understand is it takes as long as it takes.
And it's not just the families of the victims invited.
This is for the mothers that have lost their sons, that done the violence, that are behind bars. We need you. We need you to come on board with us. Any mother that's out there from the perpetrator side of the family, or anybody that's hurting from the other side of the family, please come and join us.
Anyone that attends will be provided with a list of resources to continue with any specialized care needed. Sometimes all it takes is just one phone call. It helped Miss Fox cope with the loss of her son, Rico Ferbert.
If we mothers can't unite, how do we expect our sons to? See, I have 2 other sons that are grown adults, that are still alive and are out there, and they respect what I'm doing. So if you take a stand, any mother that's out there that sees her son doing anything that's just not right, it's okay to take a stand.
The group also recognized that men tend to grieve differently, which is why a men's-only meeting takes place every Tuesday. For more information about Thursday's event at St. Paul's AME Church, call 704-6355 or email mombermuda@gmail.com.
And again, that event starts at 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Thursday, November the 30th, and light refreshments will be served. In other news, the reporting of the Royal Gazette under fire once again, this time by the CEO of the Bermuda Tourism Authority, the BTA. News site Bermuda Real broke the story today in which they reported on a leaked email reportedly sent from CEO Kevin Dallas to his staff members about the Royal Gazette's reporting last week over statements from Tourism Minister Jamal Simmons. Tarai Trott reports.
Tourism Minister Jamal Simmons had answered numerous questions posed by reporter Sam Strangeways at a news conference last week about the appointment of Cheryl Ann Mapp as the chair of the Casino Gaming Commission. Well, when the paper reported on the exchange, the article made reference to the minister's statement that the BTA could also receive policy directions from the government if there is no mutual respect. The only problem is the minister never mentioned the BTA. Reacting to this, Kevin Dallas is said to have told staff in writing that the minister's comments in the Royal Gazette are taken out of context and the reporting doesn't match the spirit of what was actually said. Mr. Dallas goes on to write, the minister's prepared statement actually makes no mention of us. In questioning afterwards by Sam Strangeways, he was asked about the BTA as the other obvious example of what she called fixed-term board appointments. Here's a little of the exchange in which the minister makes references to gaming.
As you said, I've said earlier.
Well, but I'm asking you for more on that.
As you said, I said earlier. I just think it's important right now, today, that we look ahead to the future. Right now, we have an opportunity to have a mutually trustworthy and respectful relationship and work as partners. And I think that that's where we're looking ahead to the future.
What will be in there to stop you actually just dictating everything that's going on?
The same protections that the BMA has, and that's the model we're looking at alongside the Singapore legislation. I think that nobody questions the autonomy and the authority that the BMA has.
According to BermudaReal.com, the email from Mr. Dallas concludes by stating, in order to be effective, the BTA has to be a good partner to all our stakeholders, including the government and the opposition. The Tourism Investment Act 2017 is a great example of the positive power of our model and the good working relationship we have with the ministry. Tarai Trott reporting for Bermuda Broadcasting News.
When you shop online, the cheapest, quickest, and easiest way to bring your packages into Bermuda is with U.S. Express at mailboxes.
Love the staff, very efficient, very friendly. They know my name, which is very nice.
It is cheaper than most, so I'm very happy. They're very courteous, very nice people, been coming here for years.
Comes on time, it's a good price. What can I say? It's just a very, very good service.
Sign up for a U.S. Express account at www.mailboxesunlimited.com today.
Island Soul, where fashion meets comfort. Island Soul provides fashionable footwear hand-selected by our podiatrist that offers premium comfort. Located at 60 Victoria Street, Hamilton, Island Soul contains a friendly trained staff prepared to assist you with our vast selection of footwear, both male and female, with all sizes and widths available. Compression and travel socks, amongst other accessories, are also available in addition to a shoe modification and repair service, making Island Soul a one-stop shop for all your footwear needs.
Welcome back. Construction has begun on the exterior framing of the new airport terminal with the installation of the first columns of structural steel. The structural steel will be erected to form the shell of the building, which will provide support for the second level, and roof steel beams will form the structure to hold up the curtain wall and other exterior elements of the new terminal. This phase of the project began on Monday, November 27th, ahead of schedule, and will continue through to September 2018. There's a total of 3,500 metric tons of structural steel to be erected during this period. Cranes were used to install the steel beams and columns on top of pile caps. The pile caps were put into place after piling was completed. The piles and pile caps created the foundation for the new terminal. This next phase represents the start of the above-ground construction, and Frank Ross, ACON's Executive Director and Infrastructure, says this is a significant milestone for the construction progress, as this phase is the start of the project that people will be able to see. Everything done up to now was for the foundation of the building. ACON is currently ahead of schedule and are looking forward to completing this phase in a timely manner. In other news, seniors, it may be a good time to take advantage of the final free health check before the busy Christmas period arrives. Age Concern is hosting its last health check of 2017 this Wednesday for adults and seniors over 50, where you can have your vitals, eye, and dental checks done all for free in the West End at St. James Church. Education Coordinator at Age Concern, Anita Ferbert, tells us all about it.
We've done over 200 of them in 2017, and what we're embarking on is trying to discover some things that we can help our members with to help them maintain and acquire healthy living. And particularly, we're looking at blood pressures and obesity, which is a problem, and we're working with the health department, Dr. Tebachwe, the dentists who contribute to healthy and well living. We've discovered that people may not be monitoring their health, and this is an opportunity because many people have not insurance. Oftentimes, the situation where people get very busy and they don't get a chance to monitor their health. But this is an opportunity for them before the holidays that they can meet up with professionals and talk about these things and perhaps learn some strategies as they go forward. This is an opportunity to even socialize, meet their friends, and it's been some unexpected benefits.
And there will also be a draw for a $100 grocery voucher, and a light lunch will be served. Contact Age Concern on 238-7525 to register for the free health check on Wednesday, November 29th. And take note, everyone, detectives tonight are still on the hunt for two people suspected of robbing the Collectors Hill Esso station early this morning. The incident took place at 5:30 as employees were opening the store. Two suspects, one wielding a bladed article, confronted the staff members. One suspect was described as 5 feet 5 inches tall of medium build, while the other suspect was described as 5 feet 8 inches tall of slim build. There were no reported injuries. However, a quantity of cash and cigarettes were taken before both suspects made good their escape on a motorcycle. Witnesses or anyone with any information should call 247-1744. That's 247-1744. In other news, a recent re-accreditation of the Cedar Bridge Academy by the Middle States Association of Colleges will put the school on an even keel with others around the globe. That's the take of Education Minister Diallo Rabane, the minister keen to tout the school's accomplishment and said it was not something to ignore.
This puts our school, the Cedar Bridge Academy, on an international footing, and it puts it at level with schools all around the world for a degree of excellence. And it's not something that we should just gloss over, as you said.
There were certain standards that had to be met, at least 12.
Yes, there were 12 individual standards that needed to be met, and we can say that the school came through with flying colors. My hat goes off to the principal, Kalmar Richards, the chairman, Reverend Santucci, and everyone else that put all the efforts that went into getting this accreditation. It was a difficult task from them explaining to me everything that they needed to do, and I'm just ecstatic that we were able to stand there and say that Cedar Bridge Academy meets an international standard for accreditation, and it is something that all of us should be proud of.
Happy not to hear anything about schools and mold and all of that?
Well, I can announce that the health and safety review that this government said that we would undertake has been, to my knowledge, been completed. We're just waiting for the final report. The next step for that is we do want to examine all of the schools and have what we call a building survey done that would identify structural, electrical things and of that sorts of nature of what's wrong with the school.
And turning to weather news, sunny periods with a possible light shower for our Tuesday. Here's the latest from AccuWeather headquarters.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
This AccuWeather forecast is brought to you by the BF&M Insurance Group. Good evening, Bermuda. I'm your AccuWeather meteorologist, Daji Aswad. Here's a look at our satellite. We're experiencing a few clouds out there tonight, but most of that moisture is sitting south, so we cannot rule out a passing shower tonight as that moisture is lying very close to us. Outside of that, high pressure will begin to build in behind that frontal system for the next few days. Here's a closer look at what we're experiencing right now. A few clouds beginning to stream to the south and north of us, and some even passing over us. So what this means for tonight is that we could see some passing showers or two. Here's a look at St. George's. We'll see a temp of 72 tonight. Humidity across the island at 70%. Winds out of the northwest 5 to 10 knots. Our water temperature in the lower 70s, and our waves in the reef 1 to 2 feet. Waves out 3 to 5 feet. Here's a look at tonight's forecast. Once again, low of 65 degrees. It's going to see a passing shower or two across the island, and they're going to be brief as well. And then it's going to be becoming clear, and that's when we begin to see that high pressure build, and that means a wonderful Tuesday. Mostly sunny and pleasant conditions. High of 73 degrees with a low of 64 expected. And here's another look at some marine conditions. We'll reach our first high tide at 3:40 a.m. on Tuesday. Second one is expected at 3:56 p.m. on your Tuesday evening. Here's a look at your getaway forecast. We're talking Toronto, 57 degrees for the high, 40 the low, but with very nice conditions, partly cloudy skies out there. New York full of sunshine with a high of 53. Further south in Atlanta, 64 is the high with a lot of sunshine. Miami's our wet spot here with a few thunderstorms and showers expected with a high of 81. And if you're headed to Europe, London, looking at partly cloudy conditions to mostly cloudy conditions with a high of 45. Here's a look at your current conditions across the Caribbean. Jamaica, high of 93 with some showers as well as a thunderstorm expected. Barbados and Trinidad also looking at the chance for wet weather for tonight. And as for Bermuda, our extended forecast, your Tuesday, Wednesday looking quite nice, and that's because we have that high pressure building in. But as we head to Thursday, we'll begin to see clouds increase as well with moisture. So that means we have a next disturbance coming in. This weak disturbance could bring some showers here on Friday, and that's going to keep us a little unsettled into your Friday night. I really expect this system to be a Friday night event, and that can bring some windy conditions along with those showers and a possibility for a thunderstorm. As we head into Saturday, that's when we get the chance to clear up just a little bit, but we cannot rule out the potential for some wet weather. And we want you to stay tuned to Ocean 89, Power 95, and Inspire 105 for all your latest news and updates.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
into savings all month long. Check out the great deals throughout our website. We have everything to create the living room of your dreams. Browse through our site to see the large selection in all price ranges. Entertain guests with the perfect dining set. We have something for all tastes and styles. Imagine falling asleep in your new bedroom. We have just what you're looking for. Don't wait. Call or stop in today and fall into savings all month long.
Visit Bermuda's #1 furniture store today. Big Savings Zone, Southside St. David's.
Christmas in Bermuda is a special time for most of us. Unfortunately, for some families in Bermuda, there is no warm Christmas. This year, many families will be in need. It's the 29th anniversary of the Lions Clubs of Bermuda and the Marketplace helping share the Christmas spirit, so let's help take care of each other. Shop at any Marketplace, shopping center, Modern Mart, or A1 stores and purchase extra tins and non-perishable items. Once you have purchased these items, place your food donations into Santa's bin located at the front of the store. The Lions Clubs will collect your food contributions and assemble them into hampers to be delivered to the families in need around the island. Christmas comes once a year. Help make it a special time for every family in Bermuda. Sponsored in part by the Bermuda Broadcasting Company and the Royal Gazette.
And turning to sports, Bermuda's rugby team's struggle in Mexico Premier and First Division weekend football took center stage and champions crowned in half marathon and 10K road races. Earl Bazin has the details of these sporting events and so much more in tonight's Sports Report.
Bermuda's men's and women's National Rugby Sevens teams took part in the Rugby Americas North Sevens tournament in Mexico over the weekend. The Bermuda Women's National Sevens team did not have the results they would have wanted as they conceded 170 points in 6 games and scored only 19. The Bermuda men picked up a win in their first game of the tournament, defeating the Dominican Republic 19-14, but they would fall 35-0 to Jamaica in their second men's Pool B match. Bermuda would then end 19-19 with Guyana. They would score 19 points again in their next game, but would allow Trinidad to score 22, moving them into the 6th place match against Cayman Islands, where they would fall 21-14. In Premier Division football's action at the Police Field yesterday, Robin Hood defeated Social Club 2-1. Antoine Russell gave Robin Hood the lead in the 7th minute, with Shakir Smith doubling the lead in the 34th minute. Jarazino Simmons would pull a goal back for Social Club in the 84th minute, but they could not find the equalizer. In other Premier Division action yesterday, it was North Village Rams 3, Somerset Trojans 1, Devonshire Cougars 1, PHC Zebras 1, Dendy Town Hornets 1, Crossroads 0. And on Saturday night at the BAA Field, it was Flanagan's Onions 1, Boulevard Blazers 2. In First Division play, St. George's Colts won the Battle of the Colts as they defeated Devonshire Colts 4-1 at Police Field. The visiting St. George's Colts got 2 goals from Jarazino Bassett and 2 from Donovan Thompson, while Carl Jones scored the lone goal for Devonshire Colts. In other First Division action, it was Hamilton Parish 1, Southampton Rangers 12, Paget Lions 4, St. David's 0, Wolves 2, Island Rangers 2, BAA 1, Somerset Eagles 1. Chase Smith and Kristen Palmer are the Hanover Re Half Marathon male and female champions, while Daryl Hadrick and Melissa Logie are the 10K male and female champions. Smith, although a bit wobbly at the end, suffering from dehydration, won the half marathon in a time of 1 hour, 18 minutes and 41 seconds. Tim Price crossed the line second in 1:22.56, and third was Seamus Farron, who clocked 1:26.53. Finishing 9th overall was the female winner, Palmer, who recorded a time of 1:39.26. Laura Dusek was the second female finisher and 10th overall in a time of 1:40.11, and Suzanne Saki was the third finisher in a time of 1:41.39. Gillian Teixeira, Patrick Nisbet, and Tyler Lopes all concluded competing in the CSI 2 and CSI Y1 Lear Alzoff International Horse Jumping event in Belgium. Teixeira started the day off with a second place finish in the 1.35 meter CSI 2 Table A in 2 phases class, riding Amarula. The pair recorded a clear round time of 25.72. In the same class, Nisbet and Balaz finished 35th, clocking a time of 51.87, but they had 4 penalty fault points. Lopes and Escalada finished 48th, clocking clocking a time of 52.97, but they would have 8 penalty fault points. On the local front, the Bermuda Equestrian Federation hosted the CAC Regional Jumping Challenge, followed by the BEF Jumper class at the National Equestrian Center on Veazey Street yesterday. In the CAC Jumping Challenge, Carissa Rabane riding Just Pete had a double clear round, finishing first with Tyler James and You'll Be Amazed second, also with a double clear round. In the BEF jumping class, it saw Courtney Brumby and Worth the Wait clocking a clear round winning time of 58.82. Casey Truin and Della Vega finished second with a clear round time of 61.54, and Vicky Steele in all-in-one finished third in a time of 71.40, but they had 8 penalty fault points. Total of 85 riders turned out for the second race of the 2017-18 Furniture Walk Mountain Bike Series that took place at the National Museum of Bermuda at Casemates. The male A Division saw Matthew Oliveira take the checkered flag after completing 9 laps in a time of 56.34. Adam Kirk was second 1 lap down in a time of 55.08. Winning the female veteran over 40 division was Sarah Burnett, who clocked a 6-lap time of 45.40. Trisha Hunt and Annie O'Neill were crowned the Thanksgiving Challenge on the Hill Golf male and female champions in wet and windy conditions at the Turtle Hill Golf Course on Saturday. Hunt shot a 9 over par 36-hole score of 117. He finished 2 strokes ahead of Jarrett Dillis and Alan De Silva. O'Neill would shoot rounds of 68 and 60 for a score of 128. The Bermuda Basketball City Elite League season came to an end inside the Summersfield Academy Gymnasium on Saturday night, where 253 points were scored in a doubleheader. Game 1 saw the Lions defeat the Renegades 77-61. Anthony Furbett scored a game-high 23 points for the Lions, while Jermaine Deers scored 19 points for the Renegades. 3 points will separate the Falcons and the Warriors, with the Falcons winning 59-56 in the nightcap. The mixed B team defeated the Ravens 5-0 in Bermuda field hockey action at the National Sports Center yesterday. Donnie Monis opened the scoring for the mixed B team with a field goal in the 3rd minute. 2 minutes later, it was 2-0 when Alyssa De Silva scored. De Silva would add her name to the score sheet for a second time in the 17th minute before Sam Davies would score a field goal in the 26th minute. Colin Campbell would then close out the scoring with a field goal in the 52nd minute. In the other match of the day, the Canaries defeated the Sandpipers 6-2. Bermuda Netball Senior League season resumed at Bernard Park on Saturday. In the opener, the Lindos Tigers defeated Robin Hood 31-14. The Lindos Tigers were led to victory by Jakenya Trott, who scored 20 goals. Robin Hood got 9 goals from Caroline Hobson. The Storm would defeat the Blazing Phoenix 28-17, while the Reds won the Battle of North Village Lady Rams 43-30. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Just 27 days till Christmas tonight, with reminders everywhere from music to signs erected in public reminding us of the arriving holiday spirit. And there's no way better to kick off the holiday season than the annual Marketplace Christmas Parade, which took place on Front Street on Sunday evening. As you're about to see in these highlights of the parade, there was no shortage of excitement for the children who turned out. And that's our newscast for tonight. I'm Diane Brewer. Thanks for joining us. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Good night.